Hey, it's Hersh, and today I will be showing you guys how I draw and color hair in my style. For materials, I'm using my Canson Mixed Media sketchbook, Nikon fine liners, and alcohol markers. So to explain the basics, think of hair as a 3D shape. I found for me, thinking of it as a ribbon helps me visualize how to draw it. You can sort of separate hair into shapes similar to how you separate body parts. So for example, in this strand of hair, I'm using semicircles to separate them, and then I just connect them together like this. An important thing to add more dimension to the hair is flyaway strands like these to help balance out the negative and positive space. Don't get too crazy with the flyaway strands, and a general rule of thumb is to make sure that they go in the same direction that the hair is flowing so that it doesn't look like your character just got electrocuted. Moving on to an actual person, the first girl I'm drawing has regular front bangs and straightish hair. If you're a beginner, I suggest marking out where the hairline is, basically where the forehead ends, especially if you want to draw bangs, because you can use this hairline to determine where the bangs start. Whenever I draw bangs, they usually end at around the character's eyebrows, and the goal is to make them look separated and not like one big chunk of hair. I also add small face framing pieces on the sides that help lead towards the actual hair length. Whenever I draw hair, I usually curl the ends of the hair towards the face like it's styled. Obviously, if you want your hair to look more messy, then just make the end strands facing different directions. Also, I suggest adding a point to figure out where the character's hair growth is coming from. This is more important in male characters since their hair can be shorter and has more layers. Since this girl has straight hair, there isn't much volume, so I made sure the hair stuck pretty close to the scalp. If your hair does have more volume, then just make it more lifted. Anyways, then I just do the rest of the hair. Like I said, it's relatively straight, so there isn't much curling on. I did add some flyaways, but they looked really awkward, so I did go back in later and fix them. So the second girl has a pretty similar hair type to the first, but this time she has like side bangs. So I started out by drawing the hairline again. Since I'm used to drawing hair, I don't usually actually draw the hairline when I'm doing like doodles in my sketchbook or whatever. But when I was a beginner, I did do this, so I'm just doing this for the sake of the video. And this girl's hair root is sort of towards the side, so that's why she has side bangs instead. If your character doesn't have bangs, I forgot to draw out an example in this video, but literally just draw an M on their forehead, which is kind of sort of where their hair is going to be growing from. Anyways, continuing, I drew the bangs growing towards the right, and the one thing that I do that's like a stylistic choice is draw these two semicircles on the top of the bangs, which is where the sort of face framing comes out of. You can kind of see it in the first drawing as well. This is something that I incorporated into my style, so you don't have to do this, but yeah. Like the last drawing, I went ahead and zoomed the rest of the hair. Again, there isn't much volume, so the hair is pretty close to the scalp, and I made the ends more wavy, so they ended up going in more directions. And here you can see me fixing up the flyaways that I did in the last hairstyle. This time I made them pointing more downwards so that it definitely looks a lot better and goes with the flow of the rest of the hair. And yeah. For the last girl, I just drew her wearing a ponytail and in a side view, since the other two were like front views and a 3/4 angle. She doesn't have any front or side bangs, so I just drew her with curtain bangs and face framing so that they don't actually block her forehead. And like I mentioned before, you can see I kind of drew the M shape, which is where her bangs part, and then I drew them to like around the end of her neck. I also added flyaways so that it looks more natural. Again, I really recommend using references if you can't visualize it yet, since you'll be able to figure out how the hair actually looks from this angle. And also, since there's so many different types of bangs, you can figure out if you want to draw them more wispy or thicker, and yeah. So this girl's hair actually has a lot of volume, which is why her bangs are drawn so poofy, if that makes sense. And then I went ahead and drew lines connecting like the back of her bangs to where the ponytail would start. Most of the time, ponytails have a sort of bump on the bottom of the head, which you can kind of see I added, as well as some flyaways in the nape of the neck, since that's where the hair is super short. I also added some more dimension by adding bumps that led up to the ponytail, and for the actual ponytail, it's basically just a curve that thins out towards the end. At the top, it's a lot thicker. I recommend drawing the full shape if you're a beginner, and then carving out parts to represent the flyaway strands and the ponytail thinning if you don't have a reference, but make sure that's not just a single clump of hair or else it won't look very realistic. I did struggle a little bit with this ponytail since I wasn't looking at a reference for this back part. I think it did come out pretty good, especially when I finished the line art. Moving on to the liner, I just use my Micron fine liners to outline everything. This is like a dark brown color, but sometimes I do use black, and I just recommend leaving it for a couple of minutes so that it doesn't smudge when you color it. The only tip that I have here is to use line with variation. For example, in this strand, you can see I outlined everything normally first. Then I went in later to thicken the part where the lines connected, or the parts that were in shadow, such as these. Even if this does seem small, it makes the biggest difference in your drawing and makes the hair seem so much more 3D, and yeah. Here is the finished result of that. You can see that it definitely looks a lot better with the line thickening, so I definitely recommend adding that little bit of flair to your art. Now we're moving on to coloring. I'll be showing you guys 3 methods that I use. For the first method, you'll need maybe 1 or 2 highlight colors. I'm using this light blue and light pink, and 2 or 3 hair colors. I'm choosing black for the main hair color and like a bunch of variations of that shade. So starting off, just take your highlight color and sort of make a line around the base of the hair like this. Since I chose 2 highlight colors, I used both of them for the highlight, and I also added a highlight like shade towards the bottom of the hair as well. You don't have to add 2 colors. In fact, I think it was kind of unnecessary, but yeah. Then go in with your first base color, which should be the lightest of the 3 or 2 that you chose, and this color, just color in mostly everything but leave the highlights alone. Don't like try to shape them or anything yet. Then take your second darkest color and shape the highlights. I do this by drawing like these sort of curves into it so that the highlights end up looking like diamonds in a way. You'll see it when I finish. Anyways, I like using the second and dark color because that just makes the highlights pop a lot more than if I just use the regular base color. And yeah. Also go ahead and add this color to any shadow areas like the back of the hair, the roots, or the ends, and then use your first base color to blend this out completely. I usually use the feathering method just because it's the easiest to blend it out, especially if you have the brush tip. This is optional, but you can also go in with the super dark color, which is your third base color, and add it to the back of the hair and the roots, maybe some to the bottoms, but not too much because I also added highlights there and I don't want to distract too much from that. And then using the second darkest color, again, I just added some lines and texture. This time I didn't blend everything, I just left some parts partially blended, but not completely, just so the hair looks more 3D. And then I also recolored the highlights just because it was looking really washed out and pale. And finally, I'm going in using my white Sakura gel pen to outline any details and also redo the line art in some areas since this is the dark color and you can't really see the line art anymore. And then I just added some small dashes to make the hair look super shiny, and yeah. Moving on to the second method, which is if the hair is like a gradient color, meaning it starts as one and fades into another. In this example, the hair is purple and fades into blue. So first off, I'm using a singular highlight color, in this case, this sort of grayish pink, and I just made a line like I did in the last method, like this, near the top of the hair. And then I used the first root color just to color the first half of the hair and then feather it out towards the transition area. Like I said before, I'm using this light purple color, and again, don't worry about shading the highlight yet, I'll be doing that later. Now I'm taking a second color to shade the rest of the hair and blend the 2 colors, which in this case is blue. I also added a darker blue at the bottom just for more variation, but that's optional. And I started adding shadows using this darker purple color near the roots. I actually really like how the roots came out in this drawing just because I think I did the line art really well in this case. Now I'm just blending that out again, and here I'm actually shaping the highlights. Like I said before, just add some curves and again use triangles and semicircles mainly. Then I went back to using the dark purple to add shadows towards the top and blended out the shadows into a darker blue color for the gradient. Here you can see me doing that. Again, I'm just adding lines so that the hair doesn't look like one blob. Finally, I'm using my white gel pen again to outline some parts. I'm not outlining as many parts as last time since this hair color allows you to see the outlines anyways and you don't need to like re-outline parts. But then again, I just went ahead and added some dashes and lines using the white gel pen to make the hair look super shiny. And that's pretty much it for the second method. The last method is probably the most natural looking one out of all the methods that I'm showing you guys in this video, but I'm starting out by coloring the skin really quickly. I do have a tutorial on that if you're interested, it will be in the iCards. But anyways, the only tip that I have is to blend the skin color into the hair if they match. For example, with this dark brown hair combo and this light skin, it does look really good. But for some combos like darker skin and like super light, maybe white or pink hair, it may not look the best just because the colors won't blend in with each other that well. Anyways, I started out by adding a highlight color that matched the hair tone, which is actually the skin tone again, into the middle of the hair, and then I'm using this brown base color to fill in all the other areas. I am being kind of careful not to fill in all the areas with the highlight color, but I'm not being as careful to like shape the highlight like I did in the last 2 methods, because this is going to be more blended and natural like I said before, so we'll worry about that later. Next, I'm using the highlight color again to just blend out the skin area and the highlight area. I'm going to do a lot of layering in this, so I definitely recommend having like the sort of back page so that your alcohol marker ink doesn't bleed through your sketchbook. Now I'm going in using a darker shadow color towards the base of the ponytail and the back of the bangs. I'm also kind of using the line art lines that I drew earlier to shape like where the shadows are going to be. Here you can see me, I'm kind of following them and doing it that way. And then after this, it does look really harsh right now, but I promise just blending it out will make everything look better. Here I'm going in again with the base color and just blending out the shadows. Don't blend it out completely because you still want to see like some of those lines, but I do recommend mainly blending it out towards the base of the ponytail so you can kind of see a bit of a gradient there. Finally, I went over everything again with the highlight color, and then I'm back to shading the skin again by adding shadows. Finally, I'm using my white gel pen again for the highlights. The same as the last 2 times, I outlined some parts. I also added some dashes that make the hair look more shiny. If you do add too many highlights like I did use for the ponytail part, you can just use the same alcohol marker color that you did and go over it, which is what I did here because I did go overboard, and then just use your white gel pen again. It's kind of like an eraser in a way. I also tend to use my white gel pen to erase any mistakes that I made if I did go out of lines when I was coloring, but yeah. Pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys did find this useful and that it helped some of you. Let me know if you do want more tutorials like this or a different sort of hair tutorial where I explain how I color different types of hair instead of just this straight sort of wavy hair. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!